Hello and welcome back to another episode of Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis, and sorry, I had my volume going. Hello to everyone in the chat. Thank you all for tuning in. Peace of my mind. California gas prices are out of control, but I did top up my tank this morning. I topped it up. I'm keeping it as full as possible. So because the price of oil was trading like a meme coin, I decided it was probably best if I keep it topped up. So I'm not really letting myself go below 3/4 of a tank. But I did get gas for $4.40. So I thought that wasn't too bad. But yes, we still have it's like over $1 gas tax. So if Newsom would repeal the gas tax, we would be at about the country average. So I'm doing a little less driving these days. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's keeping me in check. So thank you all for tuning in. We are back with another fun episode talking about crypto news. This show, as always, is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network and sponsored by the amazing Market Cipher. Yes, Cali makes us pay a gas tax. So it is basically a cap and trade tax where they say, we're going to charge you for XYZ renewable type stuff. But essentially it's a cap and trade. There's a cap and trade program where they want you to buy in basically carbon credits. They have renewable energy credits. I'm not going to get into the solar stuff now. I know you're baiting me. But we have other exciting stuff to talk about. In fact, I'm going to pull up right here before we dive into it, because this is making the rounds on the timeline. This is our friend Andrew. You guys know Andrew Gordon. He's been here on the show before. He is early to crypto. He was an early attorney, accounting, CPA, was working with one of the Ethereum Foundation founders early on. And so he works on behalf of the crypto industry. So, as you guys have probably seen making the rounds is this form here. So here's what he says. We just obtained the new form the IRS is sending in crypto audits. It lists 100 plus exchanges, Coinbase, Binance, Kraken, FTX, etc. You have to check yes or no for every single one and then sign it under penalties of perjury. The IRS isn't auditing your trades in a single year. They want a complete map of everywhere your crypto has been going back years. Forget a platform you used once in 2017. That's a problem. Disclose too many. You've just opened too many new lines of inquiry. So don't respond at all. Well, they'll just issue you a summons. This is a trap dressed as paperwork. He says, do not sign this form without a crypto tax attorney. We are watching this closely and more analysis coming soon on our blog. So he posted this form. This is making the rounds. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up for you guys. I'm going to remove it from there. Let's see. Can we see it better there? No, it looks the same, huh? It looks the same. So essentially, I wanted to pull this up though. Now, what you're seeing here at the top, it says a list of digital asset platforms, wallet services, and products used for individual taxpayers. So it says directions. The form digital asset means digital representation or value recorded by a cryptographically secured distributed ledger with regards to whether each individual transaction involving the digital asset is actually recorded on that ledger. So this includes virtual currency, cryptocurrency, stable coins, digital tokens, and coins, non-fungible tokens, and other similar non-cash digital representative values that were used or can be used as a medium of exchange, unit account, store of value or other as described by this treasury section blah 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 1.6045-1C8 2 3 and 4. So this says Part E, from the first time you engaged in any digital asset activity through, and then it starts this one in 2024. So this would be going back years. So if this is truly a copy of what people are receiving, then yes, this is going back years. Now, what we're seeing here is this one page, right? It's this one page. And then on there, the digital assets and platforms, Athena Bitcoin, BitLax, Binance USA, Bitcoin Depot, BitConnect, Bitfinex, Bitflyer.com, Bitforex, BitHub, BitMEX. So it goes down. It goes down as we see on this one form. But you guys, this bottom of this form only gets to letter G. It only gets to letter G. So there's more pages with more names. And then you have to sign it under penalty of perjury. So he's like, if you get one of those, let me add it back to the stage. If you get one of those, you need to reach out to an attorney right away, he says, right away. So I love Andrew Gordon because he's basically now freaking out. I assume that this is probably hit his desk. Maybe someone he knows is getting audited, one of his customers. Who knows? So it says the IRS is using this new form in crypto audits, and it's a perjury trap. The historical digital asset form is one of the most obtrusive and overboard forms I've ever seen in a crypto audit. It lists 100 plus exchanges and wallets with a yes/no checkbox. IRS demands you list the date of first use and usernames and emails for your accounts. Fill out a wrong or missed something, you could be committing perjury. Forget an exchange, the IRS could say it's fraud. List everything, now the IRS knows where to fish. The IRS is increasing audits on crypto investors, especially with the Form 1099-DA, which is being sent directly to the IRS. If you have received this form, contact an attorney to discuss your options. So he also he also said this. I want to point this out. I can't believe that Kraken still hasn't released its 1099-DA forms for their users. Almost 1 month till the tax deadline. Better extend it if you're a Kraken user. So if you have a Kraken account and you're supposed to be receiving a 1099-DA, then you probably want to hold off on filing your taxes, because what's going to happen is if they wait and they submit the 1099-DA for you and you've submitted, but now there's a discrepancy, is that going to flag their system? So he keeps going on, you guys. The 1099-DA forms are the biggest issues in the crypto industry for America today. If you received one, pay attention. So the timeline hid him from me, and I was a little bummed about it. But because this form is making the rounds again, I'm happy to see that he's doing something to try and help us, because man, oh man, what the heck? Kraken is supposed to have them by Friday. That's good to know, Black Hat Team. Yeah, I mean, I need to have mine I use crypto.com for like everything, and I've not received one yet. I can't even see like in there where to download one. Like some of my other ones were available digital for me. So I just don't know. So part of me feels like, should I wait? Should I extend doing my taxes? Should I put it off just in case? Because I don't want to do anything that's going to like trigger me to get audited if I just... Piece of my mind says, maybe I'll just go to jail next year. Hold on. Let me throw the comments up here. I just looked over on the screen and I don't have the comments up there. So yeah, you guys, this is a funky year for us in crypto, and we're starting to look at mass adoption. And what mass adoption looks like is there's a lot of oversight and regulation, and the way that things are going to look going forward is going to be a lot different. So Yeah, so you just want to be sure that you're doing everything, obviously checking all the correct boxes so that you don't get yourself in trouble, or perhaps putting off even filling out anything so you don't get yourself in trouble. So, anyway, let's see. I never received mine either. They told me you would get one in email, and if you didn't to do certain things to require 1099, then you won't get one emailed. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll do some more digging on it because I know yeah, I don't like downloading stuff through email either. And then like Cash App, because I had like $2 in Bitcoin on Cash App, they're like making me disclose my like $1 profit on it. So yeah. I'm gonna go disclose my $1 profit, but we're getting close. Tax deadline is next month and a week, so we're like a month and a week away, so we're getting close there. And I typically, I always had a tax person. I would hire someone to do my taxes, and then as I got older, I did my taxes on my own, and I was able to do my taxes the same as when I was paying someone to do it for me. So I've been doing my taxes myself, and I've been filling out all of my digital forms and whatnot. And so, yeah, I just want to be sure that I have everything and do it all properly, because I get worried because I'm not a tax professional. But I've been doing it enough years now that I think I'm not worried about it. Like I've been doing like my own taxes for like 10 years now. One of my best friends in high school, she went to college and she became an accountant, and so she would help me with my taxes. I'd hired other people kind of off and on, but then after I had all of like went through it with her, and then like enough times I just did it myself, and then essentially I had to get all of that stuff for the tax person anyway, so the only difference was just me actually plugging in the numbers. So if it's gonna save me several $100s, then I'm gonna do it. But this is the thing. If you receive a notification and they're auditing you, it's probably best to look into a tax professional who can help. Because remember, one of my favorite videos of Andrew Gordon is when his customer was audited and how they submitted all of the audits for the paperwork were that they printed it on paper and put it in a big box that weighed like 60 pounds, and they wheeled it out on a wagon and shipped it that way, so that the IRS agent had to open the box and go through all of the papers that were sent to him. And so those are the things why you hire a professional. That's why you hire a professional, because they're going to help you when it becomes time. That's when you really need them. So Andrew Gordon, if you guys aren't following him, he is on X at accounting. He has the at accounting handle, which is really impressive. So all right, you guys, that was my intro, just because, we all love taxes. We all love taxes, don't we? So without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get into the crypto charts. Tech man. They don't mind looking through that paperwork. That's what they do. I don't know. At the end of the day, I guess if they are on the job of doing the audit, then it ultimately does not matter, right? Because they're there to do the job of the audit anyway. No, John, I got no solar stories for you today. I got a back-to-back Johns. We got John Legend and John Myers in the house. Hello, John and Sean. Everyone, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat. So here we are taking a look at Bitcoin. You guys, Bitcoin had a nice little rally this morning. When I woke up and saw that we were at like 772K, I was like, yes. I was so happy, because I was like, are we going to have a breakout? Potentially. And then we had a nice little breakout, but we have a lot of international conflicts going on. There's a whole lot of who knows what's going to happen next. And so here we are. Bitcoin had a little bit of a sell off in the last, I don't know, couple hours or so. And it has since retreated from the 72K from this morning down to 70K. We touched 69 again because Bitcoin loves 69. So here's how we're looking. Things are looking good on Bitcoin. I was taking a look at the oil charts too, because, like I was saying, this has been trading like a meme coin. Hold on, let me go back here. Here we are from yesterday. We had this sharp spike up, and then we had it sell off, and then went all the way down, continued to sell off into today, all the way to 77 a barrel. 77 a barrel. So, see, maybe I need to top up my tank again. Maybe I need to top it up again. I'm just going to keep it full. I'm just going to keep my tank full because I don't know what's going to happen. Why is the price per barrel of oil dropping when there's all of this international conflict, right? They have oil bases overseas in the Middle East. These are oil bases that we have set up in Bahrain and all over the Middle East. And they have been attacking our oil reserves, our bases, and trying to hinder what we have, our oil reserves. But the price of oil is still, price of gasoline is still fairly low here. So, and then of course we've had this sharp sell-off. Now, there are people that are saying that the Strait of Hormuz is shut down and they're not going to let any oil through. And I feel like the US government is getting ready to do something crazy. And that is why the price of oil is going down. What is really sad, what I do find really sad, you guys, is like all of the people who have left Dubai, who have fled from all of the bombings and stuff overhead. Some people are leaving their pets behind and they're like left them out on a patio. And it's just like breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. So they're like, all these pets are just like left in the street because people have like left the country, and it's just sad. It's just sad. So anyway, but it's weird because there's all of this, the influencer propaganda coming out. And I will tell you, I've not been one that I'm not very keen to go to the Middle East. You guys know that. I'm not huge on wanting to go to Dubai. I would go because John Legend said, why leave your pets? What the H? Yeah, it's sad. This one, I've seen a lot of the pictures of the dogs that have been left like out in front of their apartments, and they just like attach it to a pole and hope someone gets it. But then there's like the cat that's on the patio that's been there for days meowing, and no one can get to it. No one can get to it. There's someone in a building across the way that can see this cat and can't get to it. And it's just like, how heartbreaking is it to go, out on your patio and to see that cat? Like, sad little dogs and stuff. I mean, the dogs, you could take a dog with you if you were flying out of the country. I would imagine. I don't know. I don't know if that makes it harder if you're fleeing. I don't know. I just think, yeah, if you're an expat living abroad and you move around a lot, you probably shouldn't have a pet. You probably shouldn't have a pet. Like when I was in my earlier, wilder 21, 22, 23, didn't have a pet. I did not have a pet. It's too much responsibility. So, because you're moving around a lot. So, yeah. And the people that live in Dubai, for the most part, they're all expats. I mean, you can't get citizenship there. You're just there as an expat. So then the other thing is too, is the people that are left there, they're there. And if they say something that they're not supposed to, they could get fined or imprisonment, or they can get their visa canceled on them. But I don't know. People are saying now these resorts are like giving away, free like water park access, and they're super discounts on like these hotels that are normally thousands of dollars a night. So I don't know, you guys, it's crazy, but we're monitoring the situation. So oil for right now, it's trading at $86 a barrel. So it has come up just a little bit from I think our low was like 77. Yeah, 77. So let's take a look at gold. Gold is, you guys, I can't believe, look at this. Gold is loving wartime disaster right? Couldn't believe that gold hit 5,000 an ounce, and now we're at nearly 5,200. We hit 5,200 earlier. So gold is rallying strong. Silver, I think silver will probably get back above 100 an ounce soon. Like before, it was blow off the top, and people who thought that they could sell because it was not going to stay, because silver is usually pretty volatile, but it's pretty volatile. But if we're in a war, people are more likely to trade their silver and not their gold. So I don't know. So silver, could we see it back above 100 an ounce? Potentially. We're at 88.50 right now. We're at 88.50, and it's still showing money flow in the green. Money is still flowing in the green. So I'm gonna look at the crypto bubbles. I didn't pull it up, but hang on. Let me get it. That's right, Poe Man. You lay it down. 2 of you forgot to hit the like button. All right, here we are. Oh, that's not the top 100. I'm like, what are these weird shit coins? All right, top 100, mostly green across the board. Mostly green across the board. Pippin is still in the top 100. Okay, we're down to 80 and 98. Pippin is down to 98. So I don't expect it to stay in the top 100 much longer. But kudos to them for making that rally as long as they did is quite impressive, I must say. Hold on. I pushed the wrong button. I pushed the wrong button, you guys. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at some breaking news. Hold on. Am I muted? No, I'm not muted. Okay. And I wasn't queued up the way I thought I was. All right. Let's take a look at it. All right, crypto price. Bitcoin climbs past 71,000 as oil shock fears continue to ease. The International Energy Agency on Tuesday said it will convene an extraordinary meeting for its member countries to consider releasing emergency oil reserves. So, cryptocurrencies are extending their advances on Tuesday, easing concerns about potential oil supply shock, improved risk sentiment across global markets. The sentiment shift came after the International Energy Agency said it would convene in an extraordinary meeting for its member countries to consider releasing emergency oil reserves. Bitcoin climbed above 71,000 for the first time since Thursday before easing back to 71. But as you know, it's currently at 670,000, not 60. The broad market crypto 20 index was up similar amount, with XRP, Doge, Sui, and Hyper all leading gains among major crypto assets. WTI crude oil extended its decline on the news, dropping to 82 after spiking nearly 120 over the weekend. So will we see it back above 100? Let's see. Bitcoin decoupling from software. Bitcoin appears to be losing its correlation with the software stock ETF, as BlackRock's IBIT is up around 3% over the last 24 hours, while IGV is down more than 2%. However, over the past 5 days, IGV is up about 5.5%, while IBIT is down roughly 2%, suggesting IBIT may have some catching up to do if the correlation was with the software stock or is reestablishing itself. Interesting. A weakening correlation could also be notable, as it may be a signal that Bitcoin is beginning to trade more independently from software and tech equities, potentially becoming more uncorrelated asset during periods of macro uncertainty, while still outperforming gold, US equities since the war began. So people are cautiously optimistic about Bitcoin at the current moment. So, welcome back, Blocky. Everything to zero guaranteed, including oil. Well, there is Charles Hoskinson came out and said that crypto sentiment is at like its lowest point ever. And I would have to agree. I would have to agree because it's like in the Epstein files, it's, just everything about it going towards mass adoption with US regulators, and then other countries who are at war with us who really see Bitcoin as a US asset, which is weird because it's not. But if that's the case, then it's going to turn certain people away. It doesn't change the fact that there is Bitcoin scarcity, but if we turn off other major market players, then it could mean something for Bitcoin overall. However, when we're starting to see more people buying in, as we have, more people have been buying the dip on Bitcoin, it's feeling more to me like we're at more of a bottom. So zooming out, Bitcoin's recent price action has been relatively resilient despite the ongoing macro turbulence, said James Harris, CEO of crypto yield platform TerraSec Group. After briefly testing the low around 60,000, Bitcoin recovered as a broader risk market suggested geopolitical uncertainty. So meanwhile, the ETF inflows have remained broadly supportive, while a sharp deleveraging earlier in the month helped clean up excessive positioning and derivatives markets. So the mix of washout sentiment, flushed out leverage, and support around the 66 zone suggests Bitcoin may be entering a bottoming process. However, the downside risks persist as the crypto market remains fragile. So could we go lower, potentially 58-ish thousand if we continue down to the lowest low? But I still don't see. And Mike is still saying October, November. So moving on to the next article, Republican opposition to CBDC could hold up housing affordability bill. So are they using Republicans' opposition of the CBDC as leverage for something else? So Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives have threatened the future of an affordable housing bill if it doesn't include an outright ban on the CBDCs. So Republicans in the U.S. Congress want to ban any possibility of a central bank digital currency. To do so, they're threatening progress on a bipartisan housing support bill. So a group of Republican House makers wrote in a letter dated March 6, expressing the dire need to prohibit CBDCs from ever happening in the United States. The letter cited a familiar arguments claiming CBDC would threaten financial privacy and grant the U.S. Federal Reserve unprecedented financial surveillance powers. While critics question why Republicans are so eager to ban CBDC, particularly on the global economic centers like the European Union and China to develop its own form of digital currency. So still, Republicans are ready to pull support from the bipartisan House bill to get their way. So this is hanging in the balance depending on what happens next. Okay, so moving on, Trust Wallet adds real-time scam address checks for crypto users. Trust Wallet is a long-time favorite. I love Trust Wallet. Launched addressing poisoning protection on 32 EVM chains, adding scam address screening as wallet security pressure intensifies. So this is a win. Trust Wallet has introduced an address poisoning protection, adding a new screen feature designing to help users avoid sending cryptocurrency to scam wallets that mimic legitimate addresses. The non-custodial wallet provider said Tuesday that the new feature will automatically run a destination address check against the database known scam and lookalike addresses to prevent malicious transactions. The rollout initially covers 32 Ethereum EVM compatible blockchains, including Ethereum, BNB, Smart Chain, Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and Base. Trust Wallet called address poisoning attacks one of the fastest growing threats in crypto and claimed that there have been over 225 million attacks and 500 million in confirmed losses to date. Address poisoning is a form of phishing which attacks scammers, trick victims into sending crypto to illicit wallets by first sending them a small transaction, hoping that the unsuspecting investors copy and paste the tracker's address from their history. So As that keeps rising, that's something good from a Trust Wallet. So, moving on. More of the federal regulatory stuff coming out. CFTC chair highlights wide crypto agenda, including rules on DeFi prediction markets. So, Commodity Futures Trading Commission Chief Michael Seelig updated his progress on guidance for DeFi developers, crypto derivatives, and prediction markets. So, calling the US, the crypto capital of the world, the CFTC chairman Mike Seelig updated his agency's ongoing plans to provide a long-awaited regulatory clarity for decentralized finance developers, crypto derivatives, and prediction markets. Speaking this week at the FIA Global Cleared Markets Conference in Boca Raton, Seelig said that the US is reclaiming leadership in digital assets through closer coordination between regulators. He said he and the Securities Exchange Commission Chair Paul Adkins have put to the end of days CFTC SEC infighting by partnering on the Project Crypto initiative. During his speech, Seelig reiterated that the CFTC will issue guidance to clarify how prediction markets, known as event contracts regulation, can list and trade under the U.S. law, which will launch a rulemaking process seeking public input on how the fast-growing sector should be overseen. So prediction markets are no longer a niche and have become a fast-growing ecosystem for trading platforms that allow users to trade contracts tied to elections, economic outcomes, and real-world events. So Seelig said that because the market participants deserve clarity, the agency intends to assert more active role in regulating these markets and defending its authority over them amid ongoing challenges from several U.S. states. He repeated that his sentiment from last month that the CFTC must be seen as the regulator of these markets and that he will continue to assess litigation strategies to make sure the agency's voice is heard. So, remember, I was talking about how I felt like predictions market was going to come under scrutiny, and this kind of echoes that to say prediction markets are no longer niche and have become a fast-growing ecosystem. Let's see, but yeah, that they're going to allow for public comments. So the fact that they're going to allow public comments is where I see that the sports betting industry is probably going to try and crack down on this. So DeFi developers and crypto derivatives, the CFTC, he said, also plans to address one of the crypto industry's most contentious regulatory questions. For too long, there has been an open question as to whether platform providers triggered CFTC registration on requirements. So we intend to address this question head on. The agency is also analyzing how the U.S. law should treat several crypto trading platform structures that have historically operated in a regulatory gray areas, including leveraged crypto spot trading and standards for margin spot trading on exchanges. Previous acting chairman Caroline Pham got started last year on erasing old guidance on actual delivery standards from President Donald Trump's first term so that the regulator could write something friendlier to the industry spot market practices. The agency has also been addressing the classifications of crypto perp derivatives, a dominant product in global crypto markets. So they've been addressing this stuff all head on. It looks as though they are going to be opening things up for the prediction markets. I still feel like the prediction markets is just a ton of insider trading. Like if I pulled up right now, in fact, I am going to pull it up right now. Let's see. Well, can I do it without downloading the app is the question. It'll just like let me see it just from right here. So GA14 special election winner. So some election stuff. Look at, there's 600,000 in volume on that one for some special election. Newcastle versus Barcelona sports betting. How high will oil go before December 31st? So we've got people putting bets on that. That's kind of more, I guess. This one's had it's had like 700,000 in trading. Recession this year. No. 73% say no. I kind of feel like that one more people would say yes. But this is what I mean. It's like the people that they're targeting are young. And so people that have not lived through, like, let's think about who elected Mamdani in New York City. It's a whole bunch of people that were not alive during 9/11, because the people that were alive during 9/11 were not voting for that guy. So at least that's what I think. That's what I think. Because it's just, I don't know. To go from such extremes in such a short period of time for a city is absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And that's just how I know that there's young people that are throwing money around on this stuff. And again, it's like all of the sports betting people, they've had to go through all of these legal loopholes to try and get registered in different states, and have had to face a bunch of challenges as an industry. And then prediction markets pop up overnight and they're not beholden to the same rules. So I just find it interesting. I just find it interesting is all. So that is the show for today, you guys. I will be back tomorrow at 1:00 Pacific time. As always, this show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network and sponsored by Market Cypher. You guys, if you want your own Market Cypher trading tools, there's links in the bio, and you can get your own trading tools to help you see when money is flowing in and out, and help you be in the know when things are moving up or down, at least a little bit ahead of other people. So thank you all for tuning in. I will see you all on the next one. If you are new here, feel free to go over and smash the subscribe. Bye-bye.